Hi, and welcome back to Futr Asian, where we feature local Asian entrepreneurs, creatives from Vancouver. And our next guest is owner, CEO, founder of a media platform that uplifts Asian voices.
My name is Natasha Jung, founder, CEO, and executive producer of Cold Tea Collective. So Cold Tea Collective, we've been publishing content since 2017. And initially we started out just, as a media outlet, doing interviews, publishing articles, personal stories, essays, referring people to wonderful books, for example, written by Asian diaspora authors. But we've had the fortunate pleasure of working with a lot of great brands and partners that were willing to put in some dollars to help us be able to do that and to help us reach new audiences. But then with the attacks on DEI, for example, and also the deprioritization of DEI and diverse voices and initiatives, with that, we've also found that it's been a little bit challenging to kind of, generate revenue in the way that we had previously for the last few years. And so we have had to take some shifts in terms of our business. In terms of we've opened up some new services, which includes brand management, talent management, publicity services to kind of, further the skills that we already have as storytellers. We also do cultural consulting for, corporations or nonprofits and basically any community-based organization also that has a story to tell and wants to connect directly with Asian American, Asian Canadian audiences. And I think how that relates to some of the challenges from what I've seen and heard from those that may be on screen, like that, that on TV, film and whatnot, is that, to be able to create a solid foundation and long-term success in their careers, as well as for us as a business, you just have to be really good and you have to have, maintain relationships, great connections, and be creative with how you're telling stories. Whether you're a business owner or a creative, you can't really wait for someone to tell you, like, your stories matter. You just have to believe in it, and you have to proudly share that, and in hopes that people will see that as well. And whether it be, whether it results in something that's of monetary gain or just collective, support. We just have to be loud and proud about who we are.
Wow. Thank you for sharing all of that, because that just gave all of us more insight into the reality of things. It's unfortunate to hear that there's less support for DEI. It sounds like it was just a thing when it was trending, and now that it's not the hot topic anymore, they're no, we don't have to do this anymore. And this is why we're doing this, actually, because it's the same thing that you said. If you're not finding that you're not easily getting the support from outside, it's you have to do it yourself. I've been told so many times or asked oh, what do you think about the lack of Asian representation in Hollywood or anywhere, actually? And it's I would acknowledge it's a thing, but like you said, we can't wait for other people to do anything for us. So it's if you want to see the change, you have to become the producers of what you want to see. And I'm just happy to see more of it. And I love what you do. I've loved what you've done for the past however many years. And it's really cool to hear that even with these challenges, you're still able to navigate it by pivoting and doing what you need to do.
We wouldn't be where we are today if it weren't for community. Natalie behind the camera,
honestly,
contributing your stories and sharing from our community. And Romeo, being featured in one of our stories, I think it was 2018, 2019, maybe even 2020, actually, about your tattoo work. From brilliant Filipino writer Sandra.
We go way back.
We go way back.
And even for the pride thing too, for me being trans, I was featured for that too. So having that platform and opportunity to speak about my story too was wow,
Oh, I'm so glad. Or what's different perhaps in our approach to storytelling is just ensuring that we're not just reporting on or publishing about, the hot tea, the hot gossip and stuff, but really just taking a moment to let the tea steep a little bit, maybe cool down, maybe change its flavor a little bit, and really just think about, what stories are not being told but maybe should be. Hence the name Cold Tea Collective.
Nice.
On the note of representation, I think that for me, it's incredibly important to celebrate my heritage and to uplift others in the community, because I didn't really see that growing up. And what I mean by that is, so I'm a fourth 3.5 almost fourth generation Chinese Canadian, daughter of an immigrant mother from Hong Kong. And like my dad was born here, both of Chinese descent. And I think like growing up, unfortunately, for them, when they were going through their youth and their most formative years, it wasn't safe and it wasn't celebrated to be Chinese. And so with that, like how that kind of got passed down to me is that I didn't go to Chinese school because my dad was like, that was not a great experience. So I don't want to put my kids through that. So I guess that was his way of protecting us from that. But but now that I have my own child, my own family, it's really heartwarming to be able to introduce parts of my culture to my 4-year-old son, where he can just grow up being proud to be Chinese. And like, it's not really a big thing, and even like when I, cover a red carpet or go to a gala, for example, I do my best to actually wear like a cheongsam, like a traditional Chinese dress, which the only time I ever wore that before was at my wedding, and I got it, like, it was like a $50 dress. I didn't even do any custom tailoring, like a $50 dress off of Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace. And that was in 2019. And so, Cold Tea Collective, we were already publishing stuff, but I didn't really feel that connection. I also didn't really want to wear something that was such a bright, beautiful, and brilliant representation of my culture and heritage if I didn't feel like I could fully own it. And so, since then, especially being in places and spaces post anti-Asian hate in like 2020, and really just having the community show up for each other, that's where I felt more comfortable, not just more comfortable, but also more confident in celebrating my Chinese heritage. And so why it's important to uplift others is that, I think it's just part of my DNA, and just my wiring to not necessarily, I don't want to describe it as helping the underdogs, but really just, I always want to help others reach their goals. Even when it comes to the things that give me the most, enjoyment, or I feel the most accomplished about in my work, is when I get to help, let's just say, connect a journalist with one of their favorite actors or favorite directors, and allow them the opportunity to, put their skills to work, and of course offering them guidance and mentorship and support along the way. I want to help people tell stories that they're proud of, and develop new skills to further uplift our collective communities of, the next generation of the Asian diaspora in North America.
Just hearing you, you genuinely want to connect people with their dreams and keep this thing going about seeing Asians do well and be represented. So I'm just I'm moved.
I'm on your side.
I'm honestly so moved by what you said. That's so awesome.
I think for me, I've just been through burnout so many times, and I'm not in this. I don't do this for quick wins or big bags of money, because that's certainly nowhere to be seen. And so with that, I know that the work that we do is truly generational, and to do that, I know that I have to protect my energy, protect my power, and the only way I can do that is making sure that I am personally being mindful of what I'm putting my energy and attention on. We're working with a number of really wonderful artists that are doing amazing things, artists and creatives and communities that are doing wonderful things. If I can say specifically, in Vancouver, in Canada, you'll want to look out for some of our friends and partners, including Julie Kim. She's an incredible award-winning Korean-Canadian comedian. I've also been put on recently to a Filipino-Canadian singer-songwriter, Mar Emmanuel. And his songs are just so incredible, and it's something though I've spoken with him a number of times too, and he's just doing really brilliant work musically, and so yeah, I'm just excited to see what comes out from him next. Cold Tea Collective is not the source or the one source for information on what's happening in the community. There are so many great other publications, community organizers, grassroots organizations, nonprofits that are actually really doing the hard work. And once again, the resources can be tough, so do what you can to support them and uplift them in your own way. You don't have to have a media platform or have an audience to to uplift others. Don't just look out for what we're doing, but like look within yourself and what you can do.
Yeah, help spread the good word. And I mean, even just like liking a fellow friend's post or sharing it, maybe if they have a business or they're a creative in some way, like that, even it's free.
Once again, like just this whole thing about like not burning ourselves out because our work is generational. It's important. We're in it for the long game. Like, don't feel like you always have to have something new that you're working on. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to take a pause. It's okay to, say we'll be right back. It's okay to work on yourself. I think specifically, I'm still like quite shook around what happened at Lapu Lapu Day, the festival, and just seeing how that's impacted our local community, our Filipino community, who have been so integral in what we do at Kulti Collective, specifically based in Vancouver. We have to be mindful of how we're creating space for ourselves to process, to absorb, and then when we're ready, we'll come back and give back the way we can.
But yeah, that's a really good message. Sometimes we forget and we just keep doing and pushing. Thank you for everything. Thank you for all the insight.
Thank you.
And for what you do. How can our viewers find Kulti Collective?
Yes, so we publish stories quite often at coldteacollective.com. You can also find us on Instagram at coldteacollective, LinkedIn. You can subscribe to our newsletter, Facebook. I mean, like, what platforms are people using? I don't even know. It's hard to keep up. Check us out at coldteacollective.com.